Welcome to Tony Martignetti Nonprofit Radio coverage of the NextGen Charity Conference 2011. We're at the Tribeca Performing Arts Center in downtown New York City. With me now is Abby Falik, founder of Global Citizen Year. She's been an invited speaker at the Clinton Global Initiative and also the Aspen Ideas Festival. And we're going to have her share some of her thoughts about innovation as she did here at the conference. Abby Falik, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Tony. It's great to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for sitting down for an interview on a very busy day. So our audience is small and mid-sized nonprofits, but and I think sometimes they don't think innovatively. I think sometimes they're sort of stuck in the trees. What was let's start with your general message on innovation and creating social change.
So I think if we're all paying attention, there are opportunities beyond what's immediately apparent. And sometimes it requires us, as I shared in my talk this morning, to step out of our daily routine, sometimes to immerse ourselves in foreign cultures or contexts, to see things from a different vantage. But that innovation doesn't need to mean necessarily starting your own business from scratch or starting a new enterprise or being an entrepreneur. Innovation can happen within organizations. Innovation can be as simple as changing the way you talk about your organization publicly, the way you do your fundraising, the way you've structured your online platforms.
So the innovation really has to be inspired by the leader. So how does a leader inspire themselves and everybody working with them to think innovatively and creatively?
I think the role of a leader is to envision something that doesn't yet exist.
Excellent.
To see the future in a way that is compelling and clarifying and inspiring to others. And when you can see that and paint that picture, as I've been able to do now with Global Citizen Year, others begin to fall into step and they follow along because they believe in what you're all working toward.
And how do you translate that to your own hiring so that you're hiring people who are going to be open-minded to this and bright thinkers on their own? How do you make sure that you're getting the right people working for you?
Which is absolutely a challenge.
Yeah, because otherwise you'll be up there and thinking great thoughts and no one's following.
Particularly in the early stage, you need other people who think creatively and are wired as entrepreneurs as well, because to get from zero to anything requires that everybody is an engine. Everybody can see something that doesn't yet exist and instinctively reach out to find the resources needed to apply them toward bringing something to life.
Yeah, so how do we do that?
So I have found that it is often young people who see themselves as less constrained. Millennials tend to have a knack for believing they can run through walls and make things happen. Okay. And so surrounding myself with a creative young team of people who see the bigger vision and then are comfortable building the plane while flying it.
All right. Now, Global Citizen Year is a nonprofit. So there's is that right? It's a 501c3?
We're a 501c3. I like to say that nonprofit is our tax status and not our management style.
Okay, excellent. All right, so what the status means is that you do have a board.
Correct.
And what do you do around board recruitment to bring people who will be equally inspired?
I would say similarly on a founding board
Still
in particular.
Young, yeah?
Not so young, no. People who are more seasoned, business savvy, who can help guide me because they have the muscle memory themselves of having built new organizations or are currently leading other organizations. So looking for people on the board who are older and wiser and can, essentially be my personal advisors, mentors, and allies in being able to be credible and strategic in how we grow.
All right, and how about for yourself? How do you make sure that you're not bogged down in day-to-day management? That's easy to have habits. Very seductive to deal with administration rather than, broader thinking the way you described. What do you do? What's your recommendation for that CEO, that executive director, who is in the trenches every day?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I am fortunate in that I'm wired in a way that inclines me toward the external parts of the role. So I love, more than anything, sharing my vision and giving other people an opportunity to get involved, whether as funders, supporters, allies, in reimagining how young people learn about themselves in the world. And starting with that as the basic premise, I have tried to build a team of others who complement my skills and who are equally passionate about the set of things that I am not as skilled at, and shouldn't be the one to be doing. So have recently hired a phenomenal VP of operations who takes the other side of the house, and she takes it as seriously and as strategically as I do with the work I do externally.
Okay, but that requires terrific insight into your own shortcomings. I mean, that's fair to call, right? I mean, you have to know where your shortcomings lie so that you hire. So a lot of introspection, right?
Indeed. And early on, somebody I know and respect very, very dearly suggested that I keep a journal about the things I do every day that give me energy and the things I do that actually deplete my energy. And that from that list, I could describe a job description that would over time move me toward the things that really do get me revved, and from which I derive more and more energy and enthusiasm. And so my primary objective is leveraging myself into the role where I am at my best, playing my right role, and surrounding myself by people who are much smarter and more talented than I am in a certain set of other things.
Innovation in leadership. Is there anything you want to leave people with? Any thought?
I think in the not-for-profit sector, we can often constrain ourselves by thinking too small. And even in particularly in a down economy, there can be a sense of thinking within constraints. And I would just encourage everybody out there to continue dreaming, because we are the ones who need to drive social impact missions forward.
Abby Falik, thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure. Abby Falik is the founder of Global Citizen Year. And these kinds of thoughts will get you invited to the Clinton Global Initiative, Aspen Ideas Festival, and other places where thought leaders are. This is Tony Martignetti, Nonprofit Radio coverage of the NextGen Charity Conference 2011. Abby Falik, thank you again very much.
Thank you, Tony.